On January 26, 2026, a YouTuber known as CityBoy uploaded a video of himself solo camping overnight in a forest in Japan. CityBoy is known for documenting his overnight stays in remote forests and mountains across Japan. His videos are filmed in a quiet ASMR style and normally doesn't talk. He's been consistently uploading for a little over 2 years and has built a sizable audience of around 106,000 subscribers. The video begins like most of his others. He arrives at the location and parks a small Suzuki truck near the edge of the forest road. The area appears isolated, with no other vehicles or people in sight. Bear encounters are reportedly common in this part of Japan, so before fully settling in, he lights what appear to be firecrackers, the loud pops just meant to scare off whatever wildlife might be nearby. Everything at this point seems normal. He even starts making himself a cup of coffee in the familiar ASMR style he's shown previously on his channel. However, towards the end of the video is where things head into a terrifying direction. The uploader starts preparing his truck for the overnight stay. He adjusts the interior, lays out his bedding, and starts cooking his dinner. Nothing could have prepared him for what happened next. As the uploader is eating what appear to be snacks, he comes to a shocking halt as he realizes what he's hearing seem to be someone's footsteps. As the seconds pass by, the footsteps get louder and louder. This clearly spooked him enough to start killing all the lights in the truck in case the person could see through the window. However, this may have not been enough. And it wasn't long after that every solo camper's worst nightmare became a reality for the uploader. Someone was outside his truck and was trying very hard to get inside. The uploader still has no clue who was outside his truck or what the motive was, but it's highly likely the person was looking for an easy opportunity to rob him and could have thought that no one was inside. Luckily, the door on his truck was heavy duty and never broke, otherwise who knows what this person could have been capable of. The video surprisingly continues to the next morning as if nothing ever happened the night prior. He follows his morning routine and the video ends with him packing up his truck and driving away. CityBoy still consistently uploads his normal videos to this day. However, there's still the lingering thought of what might have happened if the person outside had managed to get in. There was no follow-up by the creator about the incident and the video simply ends with no explanation. And whatever or whoever was out there that night remains unknown. Camping with Josh is a UK-based outdoor content creator who records his solo camping trips across different parts of the country. His channel focuses on wild camping, overnight stays at remote locations, and setting up simple camps in forests, hills, and the open countryside. The video starts like a lot of his other ones, a few cinematic shots of the surrounding area, and Josh briefly explaining where he is and why he chose this particular spot to camp. As he walks deeper into the woods, something ahead catches his attention.
You guys gonna think I planned this? I didn't. I think Halloween's coming up, isn't it? Okay. This is a bit weird. Well then.
Off the side of the trail, wrapped around a tree trunk, is what appears to be a white sheet. Now he stands still for a moment trying to make sense of it. Realistically, it could have been a harmless prank, maybe something left behind by some kids who passed through the area earlier. Still, it's not the kind of thing you want to see in the middle of nowhere, especially not in a place where you're about to spend the night alone. Now besides that, there's nothing else that's really out of the ordinary. He continues further and sets up his camp for the night. He even films an ASMR-style montage of him gathering firewood, a typical content you expect coming from a YouTuber like Josh. However, this is when things take a truly disturbing turn. Josh starts pointing out to the audience that he's hearing strange noises coming from the bushes behind his campsite.
I'm just literally sat over there, trimming the wood down, cutting it down how I like it. And I can just hear some mad movement going on in those bushes over there. I can't tell if it's like the rainfall just making quite a commotion, or there's maybe rabbits or deers maybe walking through, or any dog walkers or whatever, I don't know. Bit spooky.
He goes to investigate only to end up not finding anything and quickly dismisses it to the fault of potential animals running around. He sits back down at his campsite to continue trimming firewood, but it didn't take much time at all for the noises to return. Footsteps can clearly be heard very close to his campsite, which means he isn't alone out there. The truly disturbing thing is, he never seems to be able to locate where they're coming from, which only freaked him out further.
I'm finding it really difficult. Do you know what I mean? You heard that.
And it didn't get any better with time. He only continues to hear very audible footsteps and movement around his campsite. Shortly after, he's trying to find some courage and reason to stay, but that all flew out the window when this happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack up. I guess I could take this tarp away, but I just don't really want to. Alright, I'm gonna go, guys. Hello?
And now, being unable to justify staying any further, he decides to call it quits and pack up early. Towards the end of the video, Josh gives a brief recap of what he experienced that night. He explained that he's certain he wasn't alone out there. But the disturbing thing is, whoever was out there never wanted to reveal themselves. Whether that meant they were planning something or simply watching him is impossible to know. Who knows what could have happened should Josh have chosen to stay there overnight. Because when it comes to solo camping, the biggest risk usually isn't wildlife, it's just other people. But whoever was out there, I guess we'll never know. I think it's safe to say that a lot of solo campers would rather run into wild animals than crazy people, and this video is a clear example of why. Love Sundays is a YouTube channel ran by a man named Sean, who films his adventures camping all over the UK. On the 11th of September 2022, he uploaded a video where he sets up camp in Cornwall on the side of a road. Now, he wasn't technically supposed to be camping there due to parking regulations, so he had to try his best not to attract unwanted attention from the authorities. Around 9 p.m., he starts setting up his bed for the night and getting ready to go to sleep. It was around 10 p.m. where he officially went to bed, but it was around this part of the footage where Sean's night takes a pretty distressing turn.
I just heard something outside. What? Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying that. handle.
At 2 a.m., someone can be heard knocking on his door trying the handle to get inside. Now, some people speculate that it was simply someone from the authorities coming to tell him to move his van. However, this is highly unlikely because if it was someone from the authorities or the police, they would have announced themselves. They wouldn't simply just try the handle and force their way in. It's highly likely that this was someone trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever it was gave up and left only after a few tries, and they never bothered Sean again. These types of encounters can be very disturbing. Luckily, Sean woke up the next morning feeling fine and was able to move on with his adventures.